if you lost, it went, whoops, you lost. Do you want to try again, or do you want to reload a save?
Oh, okay.
And I was like, this is just a fun little side activity. Why do I have to win?
Alex, do you feel like you failed in life?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, me too. That's why we do the
Why
show.
we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is why we do the show. But the thing that I wanted to talk to you about today was the lack of fail states in some games. This is something that's been suggested to us. You've talked about it. Some other people have suggested we talk about this in the past, is games where there really isn't a fail state and how that affects gameplay, how that affects the game world entirely. For me personally, I think that the place where I've seen this the most is mostly in like cozy games, where there is no real failure. Even in like a Stardew Valley, they do give you some consequences to failure. But it's pretty mild, and I've started to realize that a lot of the other versions of this that kind of took off from it pretty much give you no penalties if you just, like, pass out at 2 o'clock in the morning somewhere. They just return you
Well,
to...
I don't like that to begin with. Like, let me stay up all night if I want to. Shut the fuck up about being... Oh, it's so late. I'm an adult. Let me do what I want.
There are some games that I can reference to you that mostly work on stamina meters that deplete over time that have nothing to do with the timeline or the time frame. But I'm gonna guess that you have maybe even a more overt case of a fail state where maybe I don't even get transported home or anything. Like, there's just no consequences.
Well, for me, those ones are akin to the sandbox games that I've talked about before.
Yeah.
Where it's, unlimited funds, do whatever you want. Haha, it's just a creative toy now.
Yes.
There's no real win or lose condition. There's just create and watch the thing you've made with unlimited resources flourish, because there's no way to not flourish.
Right. Exactly.
I don't vibe with sandbox modes like that, or creative modes like that, because I want at least a little challenge.
Sure.
Same with like farming sim.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's stopping me from taking out another $2 million loan from the bank? Nothing. Perfect.
Any consequences to that? Not really.
Are my crops gonna die and rot? Do I need to... No, you can turn that off, or it doesn't even exist. So that's sandboxy, and that's one side of games that don't really have failure states. The other side, I think I was playing Hogwarts Legacy at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've played that.
I had never had an interest in it, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's not... honestly, the game is pretty solid. It's pretty fun. But I was noticing while doing some of the tasks you have to do in school, like different, like, challenge this person to a broom race or whatever, or this other game, or these mini games, or wand dueling, for instance. Doing any of these, if you failed, if you lost, it went, whoops, you lost. Do you want to try again, or do you want to reload a save?
Oh. Okay.
And I was like, this is just a fun little side activity. Why do I have to win?
Yeah.
Why is this a
Why can't I just lose?
Mission where I just have to win? If I don't win, I need to reload until I've won. So basically, you're saying I have to be the super special, always wins person at the school. It's like,
right.
Why not just introduce a failure state where it's, oh, you lost this time, come again later when you want a rematch.
Right.
Like, that would at least wouldn't feel as bad, because it's like, well, yeah, I guess I need to practice more. But when it's like, do you want to just try it again, or do you want to load a previous save? It's like...
Or do the Baldur's Gate 3 thing, where it's okay if you fail. It just creates a new narrative or something, like that you failed the activity.
Right.
Yeah. It's fine.
And that's easier to get away with those narrative games that are more heavily, like, have those options.
Right.
But it was
right.
just really strange to me because I was like, I don't want to just win all these things and never have a chance to lose. Like, even in Baldur's Gate itself, if you like lose a combat and everyone dies, yeah, you will reload a save. But the consequence was you died, your plan didn't work as you thought, and you just got fucked.
I can make a suggestion to Hogwarts Legacy that comes from a game that was also about a school that came like a decade prior to it. Or more, actually, come to think of it. Whoa, I feel old. Anyway, there was a game, and it was from Rockstar. It was called Bully. You might remember.
I kind of figured that's where you're going.
Yeah.
I didn't play it.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I kind of loved Bully. Bully was a great game.
Apparently, a lot of people did.
It was so good. And the thing is that they made like a very controversial title because people were like, "Oh, you're gonna play the school bully." No, more than anything, you're dealing with bullies that are beating up on kids and trying to figure out how to do that with like fun, like water balloons and potato guns and stuff like that. But the thing that they do in that game is you have Bulworth Academy that you're going to. There is a day-night cycle. During that time, there are classes that you're supposed to attend. Those classes are for different categories, basically, that you're supposed to go to class to do. When you go there are mini games. Those mini games, you're supposed to pass like however many are in the classes, and you get benefits from doing this. But there's absolutely a fail state. You can very much fail these things, and you would have to then go back and retest it the next time those classes come around on your schedule in order to do that if you want to get the benefits from it. You can also, of course, miss the class entirely, at which point you automatically get marked for it. But the fact of the matter is that there are absolute fail states in that, where you can completely fail these activities. Wherever those activities are, you eventually get to like the carnival part, where there's a bunch of games, and you have to pay for those, and you can absolutely fail those, and you can, and you are not necessarily going to be the best go-kart racer in the whole wide world, but you could be, but you have to work at it, and you have to be able to get tickets for it, and you gotta buy the tickets in order to do it again. This is just the way it was framed, and so I do find it kind of interesting that this is a system that worked perfectly well in Bully, and really made it more engaging for me. And then Hogwarts Legacy many years later was like, or don't worry about it and just tell the game you win.
I was doing a part where I had to sneak, and it was like, if you get detected, you gotta reload a save or just start over.
Oh.
And it's like, that's not a punishment. That is, you get caught, try again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a win or lose state, but the lose state is not any sort of punishment. It's just a setback.
There's probably a mod for like most of the FromSoft games that's just like, this boss seems like it's too hard. Would you like to like to skip it? Would you like to instant win? Challenge failed. Yeah. Perfect.
You already played on easy mode.
I already played on easy mode. It's not an instant win, but it definitely makes it far easier to do so. From your point of view, when you encountered that and realized that there is no fail state and that it must be a success regardless, what did that actually do to your gaming experience? What did that feel like?
I mean, it wasn't really like it solidly affected much, because it's not like it's gonna go, man, this game sucks because I can't fail. It just makes me go and say like, oh, I guess I'm going to be the best at all the things, which is really not that interesting comparatively, like, to being like, yeah, you're decent, but you weren't best in the class kind of deal. It's like, I don't need to be the smartest, I don't need to be the best, I don't need to be the only one who can do the thing. You're already making that character in that game the special MacGuffin.
Yeah. Special
they
MacGuffin
are
man.
The only person who can deal with the ancient magic, and it's like, oh, you're super special, or whatever it is. So it's like, you had that.
Yeah.
You also don't need to make it so I'm like an A-star pupil. It's like,
exactly.
that's not necessary.
Yeah.
Just let me be super special, but also have flaws.
I can see a game that really provided a challenge where you're actually competing against other kids that are at the school, like Hogwarts in this case, and that provides an interesting personal narrative too, where you get your rankings every week or whatever, and it's like, oh well, it looks like Sandy Sogbottom. It's the best name I can come up with for a Harry Potter character at this point.
Probably a real name, so it's fine.
Yeah, probably is. It's anyway. Sandy Sogbottom has five more points for the house thing, and now I know so much about this lore, you guys.
Good job.
And because I know so much about the lore, Sandy Sogbottom is like 5 points ahead in something, and so therefore, you have to maybe you don't get as many rewards. Maybe you actually do get like rewards at the end of the semester or something, and based on your rankings.
Just thinking that if you're not gonna have a fail state that's interesting, maybe you make it so that the better you actually do, the better you get rewarded.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you get more money or better quality of item or something else.
Yes.
So, like, that would be incentive to do better itself, rather than just being, yeah, I won. It's like, oh no, I set fucking records.
Yeah. In Hogwarts Legacy, does that have a rarity scale for equipment? Okay, so what you do there is, like, depending on what grade or something you do, you get a common, an uncommon, a rare, or like an epic version of item that is prize. You get better versions of that. Do you get a white, green, blue, purple, or orange? Basically, which of these things do we get?
Which of these game itemization colors do you get?
So here's something that was actually cut from a game that would have implemented something like this. It was a game that some people might be familiar with called Fable. In Fable, back when Peter Molyneux was doing the pie in the sky, here's all the things we'd like to put into the game.
You can actually grow a tree from a seed to a full tree.
You can watch your kids grow up, and they'll get old and they'll die, and it's like, well, why are you still alive? But anyway, But one of the many things that Molyneux promised that he never delivered on, because that's kind of was his thing, was the idea that you were a hero competing against other heroes in the world, and that you'd get ranked, and that, you had to do quests to keep competitive with the other heroes, and that would change the landscape, and who's, better known, and, where the lore and the legend of these different characters was coming. Now, when it gets to the actual game, you basically find a few different heroes. They're part of the narrative structure. You don't really compete against them, except for, I think, that a couple different boss battles, basically, where you have to, defeat Thunder or Whisper or something like that, and then have to make a decision about whether you're going to take the glory and kill them, or you're going to walk away and save them. But you kind of have to win in order for the game to work. In order for it to do. So basically, it did kind of remove those fail states, and I do kind of wish that they had still implemented that, because the idea of being able to compete against other heroes in order to, win over Albion seemed like a really cool idea, and I don't think that in any of the iterations they ever implemented something like that, even in Fable 2 and 3. Maybe the new one will. I don't think it will, but, it'd be cool if they did.
We have the technology now to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Way more than back then. And, I think the games that do that kind of thing well are probably your MMOs or your Battle Royale games at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe not Battle Royale, though. It's kind of Drop of the Law. Luck of the Drop now.
Druck of the Law. There's the episode title. Druck of the Law.
Right. Games that do that well are multiplayer, like online battle arenas, MOBAs, things like that, where the rewards you get are based on how good you do.
Yes.
But those are because they're competitive playing against other people.
I do, however, think that there are places where just an outright failure would be interesting for character development. And you could do that in a lot of different ways. We mentioned Baldur's Gate 3 because that legitimately has, you just failed. You just whiffed it bad. And it's over for you. I don't know if I've gotten to the worst of it, but there are some where if you fail, it's like really bad. Like, there are some circumstances in that game where if you fail, it is bad. Real bad. Like, world-ending sort of bad. But the fact of the matter is that I don't mind games that say, oh yeah, that was a bad deal, you really shouldn't have done that. There's a lot of survival games that kind of end up in this in this way, where it's like, you mess up and things are gonna go badly, and it's not like we're just gonna give you an out for it, you know?
You've lost a foot.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you've just lost a foot, sorry. Too bad, so sad. Yeah,
I'm so footless. That's why I drink sugar-free energy drinks.
that's how Alex will keep his foot. You do
This one
not
has
end up in
4
a fail
grams of
state.
sugar, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Well, then your foot is at stake. What would be the kind of implementation you'd like to see in games that are fail state averse? How would we rectify this problem?
Maybe not just going to a load screen being, you failed again, come back and try again later kind of deal.
Yeah.
You don't have to upend my entire playthrough. It's just like, sorry, you lost this time. Come back again and you've had some more practice.
Yeah.
You know, instead of load a save, it's like, okay, I'll just try again.
Yeah.
Or even just a bit of dialogue to do it instead of just an option on a menu that's like, game over. Do you want to reload a save?
Do you think that they did it for just basic accessibility reasons? Because, I mean, I could kind of see, like, even if that were the case, there's also a workaround there where, like, in accessibility settings or something like that, you could just be like, you know, do auto challenges or whatever, you know, just something like that. If it's a hand-eye coordination issue or something like that, you know, you could work around that as well, but still have a fail state.
What they could have done is if you fail the game, you just die.
I remember when that used to be a thing. That used to happen a lot, actually, in games. A lot of RPGs just literally were like, oh yeah, you failed, you're dead, sorry. No coming back for, no resurrection coming here, sorry kids. And that's why no one played Gothic. That was my whole experience trying to play Gothic 1 and 2, once I got them to actually work. It was basically like, oh, I'm just gonna keep dying, aren't I? And would you like to load your save? I hope you saved. There was no autosave back then, so it's like, you better remember to save your freaking game.
Do you remember the passcode?
Oh god, I love the passcodes. Yeah, that's what you need, is the passcode system, a la Mega Man. Let's do that. I mean, I think that there's just workarounds for fail states. I don't necessarily need you to have a reload, but just to say, hey, no, you failed the challenge, okay, come back, do it again, you know, or there's a narrative reason why you can, there are other workarounds, so that there are consequences to actions. I don't see that as being a real problem, and hopefully, you know, games can figure out ways to implement that just to make it feel more alive and like there's actual weight to your decisions. Because if I have to win everything and be the bestest of the bestest at everything, and they're not going to let me stop doing that, then I don't really know why I'm playing the game.
Win.
Yeah, but if you're just going to tell me that I win...
It's just a winning simulator.
It's a winning simulator.
Edition.
Perfect. I love that. Let's just have a winning simulator. It's a Charlie Sheen. Yeah, it's a Charlie Sheen simulator.
Like I said, it's Charlie Sheen simulator.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen simulator. Perfect. Winning.
We're winning.
Man, they should call that game Tiger Blood.
Warlock. Tiger Blood.
Rambo Tiger Blood.
Man, that was some unhinged times.
Unlike now. Now everything's stable and normal.
Everything's super hinged. Too many hinges.
There's way too many hinges. There's even an app called Hinge.
We've actually got like a hinge on all 6 sides of the square.
Oh, that's perfect. It doesn't open then.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. That's how hinged we are. If you would like to tell us all about your favorite hinges, I guess that's the question I'm going to leave you with. Let us know.
I hope we actually get some hinges in the comments.
Yeah, tell us all. Yeah, because if you've made it through to this point, I know that you've actually listened to the episode. Tell us about hinges. That way I'll know you actually listened to the end of this episode.
And we'll know
favorite
that
hinges.
Told you about hinges.
Yeah, and knowledge of hinges. Your favorite kind of hinge. It's Hinge Central here. You enjoy. Get us down in the comments. All right.